Welcome back, everybody. Jam and Jay Taylor, 92 Zoo, top 10 at 10. Ladies and gentlemen, be the 10th caller at the end of this countdown. Get a $5 coupon at Lima's Arby's participating restaurants. That's right, everybody. Coming in at number 1 for the 10th week in a row, it's Def Leppard and Love Bites, 92 Zoo. Welcome back to Casey on Tap, everybody. As always, my name is Casey Wandell, and sitting in my co-pilot seat, the one and only Douglas William Wade, professional golfer, Hall of Famer, number 1 in my heart and yours. Douglas, how are you doing down there in the Natty?
Well, I've got some new high-tech studio equipment that we've been setting up all week long, getting ready for the next podcast. So things are well here. We hope it works properly. All is good.
We are slow learners. Look at Douglas's face in that light, in the artwork behind him. I got to tell you.
Carrie's going to be so impressed.
She's going to be so proud. Ladies and gentlemen, we must start. We have so much to talk about. It's very, very exciting. Playoff baseball is upon us. College football is in full swing. The National Football League. And for those of you out there who are fans of the New York Metropolitans, congratulations on what playoff baseball is all about, as Pete Alonso just silenced the Cheeseheads with a improbable 3-run opposite field home run. He doesn't go opposite field very often. The Mets win 4-2. They are going to clash with the Phillies in the National League Division Series. On the other side, we've got the Cleveland Guardians taking on the Motor City Kitties, Douglas.
Playoff baseball is where it's at. I don't watch much during the regular season like I did as a kid. But playoff baseball, that'll get you. I said the Dodgers months ago. I'm sticking with them.
Let's talk quickly about the Hit King. We're talking about baseball. We're talking about growing up as a diehard Cincinnati Reds fan, the one and only Pete Rose, an iconic, once-in-a-lifetime, historic baseball player, and the complicated legacy he leaves behind. What were your thoughts?
Well, it was obviously very sad to see it. I got to know Pete Rose a little bit, sat with him at a couple different Reds games, which is really cool. Was up
Very
in a
cool.
suite. Yeah, one of my members at one of my former clubs is one of his best friends, and got to sit in a suite with him for a couple games. And the one game I sat by him, we were sitting outside the suite in those couple, the rows like out in front of the enclosed area. And man, I must have asked him 100 questions.
Good.
And not only did he answer them, but his eyes lit up answering them. He loved talking baseball. Everything about the conversation. I was asking him who toughest, pitcher he faced, and on and on and on. All those kinds of questions. And he ate it up. He loved it. By the way, one guess. Could you guess who he said the best pitcher he ever faced was?
I was going to ask you. Nolan Ryan.
No. It would have been early in his career. Guy's a little bit older than Nolan Ryan.
Give me
National League.
Tom Seaver.
No.
Go ahead.
Sandy Koufax.
Of course. When you read that headline that Pete Rose had died, it's one of those where everybody went, oh man, damn. Like he's not gonna, even if he makes it to the Hall of Fame posthumously, he won't get that moment, and also kind of baked into those reactions, mine, all the talking heads, just how, as a person, what happened, and then how great of a player he is. If there's a Hall of Fame baseball player that's ever lived, I mean, Pete Rose could arguably be on the Mount Rushmore, right? He's not in the Hall of Fame because of the gambling. And I saw one of my good friends posted something on social media who I'm not going to name, him very well too, somebody I love dearly, and he played a hell of a catcher himself. He talked about, now there's gambling ads everywhere and it's all about gambling, and it's just it's a joke that MLB's keeping him out because of gambling. And the sad reality is it just sucks that he is not in the Hall of Fame. But I completely understand why he's not. It just sucks that he died not in Cooperstown. It's one of the greatest sports travesties, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, it's tough because it's one of those things where, like, if you're the commissioner at the time that allows it,
Yep.
and it happens again,
Yep.
What is the penalty? Because it's not you can't just say, well, gambling's legal now, and look at all these ads of gambling.
That's
in baseball.
correct. That's exactly right.
He bet on his team.
That's exactly right.
Now the biggest argument in his favor is how he always was adamant that he never bet against the Reds.
Like Doug just said, got to set a precedent. And he wasn't just gambling. He rolled the dice, and he got in deep with some bookies. What's the best way to get that money back is to kind of know the outcomes. And he was wagering on his own team. If you gamble on baseball as a Major League Baseball player, there are dire, dire consequences. I mean, he knew it. That's the problem. So rest in peace, Charlie Hustle. Rest in peace, the hit king. I think he's going to be elected posthumously to the Hall of Fame. Let's talk about new places, new faces. Sarasota, Florida. Tampa Bay, Florida. Columbus, Ohio. We've had Dublin. We've had all the suburbs, but Columbus, Ohio today. Hollywood, California. That's what's up. New places, new faces. We are now in, like I said earlier, 7 countries around this great globe. Thousands and thousands listening to old Doug and I. And one of them, one of our favorites, we're going right into fan feedback, is Matthew from Virginia. And by Virginia, we mean North Carolina. Great podcast as usual. Seriously helping my fantasy team, boys. I challenge you and Douglas to some expert analysis of all the service academies next weekend, which will be this weekend. Navy, Air Force could be a banger. We talked about bangers last week in the old mailbag. Hey-oh. Doug's face must be frozen there. I didn't get any reaction. Okay. Both Navy and Army are both undefeated thus far in the year, a feat that hasn't been seen since the mid-1940s. If this keeps up, whoever wins the Army-Navy game could have playoff implications. Serve your country proudly. Give them some Casey on Tap love. Thank you, Matthew from North Carolina. Doug, so he's asking us to break down the Service Academy football programs right now. And what I will say is Army is nasty. Navy is back. Air Force is absolutely, you know who plays for Air Force? Matt Sebecki's son. You know that? Clayton Sebecki plays for Air Force. Kid runs a 4.2 540. He's one of those wingbacks. Matt Sebecki's bald and slow. He's the best friend I've ever had in my life, and I love you, Matt. But you know you are. You're bald and you're slow. Clayton plays for Air Force, little wingback, catching the passes out of the backfield, running. So my allegiance is to Air Force right now because of young Sebecki. However, old Sebecki, Matt, went to Navy. So I like Navy too.
I mean,
Army.
I'm an Air Force, fan. My father was in the Air Force for 20 years, so I've got allegiance to the Air Force.
But one thing I will say before we get into our college football winners is that wherever those great, great patriotic teams are, okay, in the pantheon of the world, the Air Force, the Navy, and the Army, think about the opposite end of that, okay? The bottom of hell, the bottom of the toilet bowl. That's where the Cleveland Browns are.
I mean, why?
Why not? Because why not?
There's so many other things to talk about right now. What are you doing? Why? I mean, they live rent free in there, bro.
Rent free?
Yeah, in your head.
Are you talking about the laughs and the You're right. Rent like it's unfair. The humor, the jokes, rent free. Let us move onward now to this week's winners. We've got college football winners. Well, who just popped in?
Surprise. It's the mouse in your pocket.
His name's Dominic, the VP of Hype. Who knew? Look at Doug's face. What a surprise. Huh?
Oh, look at the lighting with Doug. He made the adjustment.
There it is.
Carry
lighting.
What
with
do
the
you think,
wind.
Dom? Is it too much? Is it too much?
I think it's perfect. It is absolutely perfect. Your
Dom,
hue. Yeah.
No, go ahead. You were saying something that was about his hue.
Yes. Your eyes are. I mean, I'm lost in the deep blue. The shading is perfect.
It is perfect.
Very well done. Very well done. Handsome man.
He's got a mic. He's got his. Look at him. He's coachable, Dom. Who knew?
He's getting big on us. He's growing up.
This week I said, hey, we're getting, starting to grow, get a little lighting, whatever, and classic Doug Wade fashion. It's like having an 8-year-old boy, and telling him he has to eat vegetables. Like, it's good for you. His first reaction was,
I like the taste.
I don't want to eat my broccoli. I don't want to eat my carrots. And I'm like, what if I put in some blueberries? Num, 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 num. He's like, okay. And then
the maple syrup.
Maple syrup right on the clitoris. What's up? Two of us are 100% in. One of us is getting a handy under the table, if you know what I'm saying. I'm just kidding, Doug. It's not a handy. It's more of a... Okay.
It's a finger.
The thing... Wait, is it peggerific? Is he getting pegged? Is there a credit card cuckold going on right now? Are there suds?
There's suds throwing. I thought I got a Casey on tap cuckold as I'm sitting here at 10:05, 10:10, 10:15.
Did I text you? I said approximately. I said we'd start at 9.
But I'm here. As always, I'm here. Let's skip right to the good part.
We're going to get right to the good part. Here's what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what my record was last week. And let me tell you why I'm not sure. Because I've not heard anybody giving... no one sent me flowers. No one's giving me kudos. But all I know is if one of you two bobos were 5-1, I would have been hearing about it all damn week. So I want you both to know that I know that you know that I know that you know that I was 5-1. That's all. That's just... Nothing else needs to be said. Kind of feeling pretty locked in right now. The opposite of locked in, Douglas, I think you'd agree, would be Dominic. Dominic's struggling right now with his picks. I don't know how you go 0-10 when there's only 6 plays. Doug, come on, buddy. Wake up.
0.0.
Jesus, what's going on right now? Yo, come on, participate.
Casey, our overall records now in the year for the NFL, I am 6-5-1, and you are 7-5. So you're doing well in the NFL. In college, I am 10-5, and you are 6-9.
6-9. I'm coming back. Dom, go ahead, brother. Let's start with college.
Along with that mouse, you must have a 4-leaf clover in that pocket, young man. All right. So first pick, I got Michigan 2.5 over Washington.
Okay.
Now here's why. Washington in October has failed to cover the spread 13 of 14 games the last 2 Octobers.
Wow.
Plus, it's going to be a low-scoring game.
Yeah.
Michigan has a solid running game, and they have a solid defense. Their passing is god-awful, but it's going to be close. So I'm taking Michigan plus 2.5. Okay?
Yep.
Next we got the Miami Canes plus 10.5 versus Cal. Cal's a god-awful state. They don't give a shit about football. I don't even know what they do out there.
Hold on. Miami's minus, not plus.
Excuse me.
It's okay. Yeah, minus.
Yes.
10.
They're 10.5. We're laying 10.5. We're laying 10.5 versus Cal. California's they don't care about sports.
A lot of candy. It is Halloween. It's a lot of candy you're giving out.
It's a ton of candy.
Trick or treat, Cal Bear.
Take it. They're averaging almost 50 points a game. 50 points a game. Cal's averaging like 15 points a game. This is the next level. Okay, you give me more than 38 seconds, I can do a little bit of research and help out the fans, all right? We'll judge next week. Miami minus 10.5. Bet big on that one. They're going to win by 30.
Hang on. There was some depth there. Let me write that down. Hang on a second.
Yes, write that down.
Hang on. Judge. Next week.
Yep.
Next week.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That was delicious. Yep. Please continue.
Right next to your vegetables. Moving on. Game 3. My Rockets, my Toledo Rockets. Now, I watched games in the Glass Bowl. They play the Miami. Now it's the Redhawks. Toledo's laying 6.5 at home versus back in the 90s, what we call them J. Crew U, right? I mean, other than Ben Roethlisberger, they've been a hot pile of trash.
Yeah,
So
you're right.
Toledo's got a high scoring offense.
He crew you, huh?
Yeah, I know. I don't know where that came from either. They're at home.
Probably a fraternity party.
Yeah, which I wasn't in a fraternity.
It rhymes. It rhymes.
Yeah.
I was in a fraternity as well. I'm just saying.
Wait, no, I was not. You were?
Yeah. You kidding me?
Really?
Yeah, I dominated Ohio State.
Oh God!
I was a social chairman at Sigma Chi, bro. Come on,
God.
yo.
Let's bring them in. Animal House stories.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Animal House stories? Like, were you?
I think
Eric Stratton. Damn glad to meet you.
It was written based on my experience.
They had a time machine and went and looked at you, and then went back into 1979.
You know what I invented? You know, it may have fizzled out, but for a minute there, one of the hottest things nationwide was the old super soaker full of Jaeger. Okay? You walk around parties and you put the little tip in the girls, like girls got like you fire in you. I invented that, and it was viral, baby. Before viral, when the only thing viral was the herp.
I was in a few of those Sigma Chi parties with Casey. I can attest to some of those things. Those pretty good times.
20 years later, I'm fucking mad I didn't get an invite. So,
well, as you should be. So the point is, somebody went, "Hey, you go to Miami? That's J. Crew, you."
Yeah.
And then
we got him. So. That's what Toledo did. That's all we had.
We got
whatever. You're J. Crew, you. We're like blue collar. We have a campus, and that's it.
You're the J. Crew.
Yeah, just because you got all the hot girls.
You got Michigan plus the 2.5. You got the Canes minus the 10.5, and you have the Rockets. What was the line on that one again?
Minus 6.5.
Okay, got it.
Okay,
all right, brother. For Michigan's an underdog.
Yeah. It's weird. I thought it's
at Washington.
I smell something, boy. It smells rotten.
That smells weird.
Yeah, it opened at 3, and it's down to 2.5.
Play number 1. I've got, and arguably one of the best games of the weekend, Missouri. University of Missouri is plus 2.5 against Texas A&M at Texas A&M.
Yep.
Texas A&M has been extremely shaky. They obviously lost the game early in the year to Notre Dame. They had a couple easy wins against terrible teams, and they've only played a couple halfway decent teams and barely squeaked by. Missouri's defense is unrelenting. They are punishing. Texas A&M is going to have a very difficult time scoring at all in that game. Missouri getting 2.5. I love it. Play number 2. Sticking with this one too. Since Northern Illinois has beat Notre Dame, they have been playing terrible. I think they lead the country in turnovers since that win. That's going to continue. They are now playing against a very underrated University of Massachusetts team. Massachusetts is getting 17 points against Northern Illinois. I see that game being a last possession game. We'll come right down to the end. Getting 17 points with UMass. Love it. And finally, play number 3. I've got a couple on the written down here, but the one that I just keeps coming back to me that I absolutely like a lot, coming off an incredibly horrific defeat last week, one where they stormed all the way back from down 28-0, came back, took the lead with 2 minutes left, and then lost in one of my games that covered last week with Alabama. This week, I am going to roll with the Bulldogs of Georgia, minus 22.5 against Auburn. Auburn is terrible. I expect to see Georgia put about 50 or 60 up in this game. I would expect that 22.5 points to be covered pretty easily. So there we go. Missouri, UMass, Georgia.
Okay, I like it. I was going to ask you earlier today, I was going to say, man, does this week's board, does it smell like rotten cheese in a trap or what? I mean, there are so many games. Like, for example, like that Missouri game. You look at it, you go, oh, A&M sucks. But it's like, why is it something? And I mean, there's a bunch of them. The Michigan-Washington game.
Missouri doesn't score a lot of points. A&M, the crowd.
Well, your time's over. I'm not asking for an explanation. I'm just giving you my thought process.
I'm with you.
I'm giving you my thought process. It smells like cheese. But guess what I am? I'm a filthy, rotten cheese eating, public gambling mother. I just go right in. I see those lines and I'm like, ooh, that smells like, I think I want that cheese. For example, South Carolina at home. Do I love Lane Kiffin? Yes, I do. Did I have as one of my preseason hot takes, Ole Miss being in the championship? I did. They're getting 9.5 points, which indicates maybe their quarterback's out. I don't care. Give me the Cox plus the 9.5 at home against the Lane train. My second pick, much like Douglas Williams last week when he said, I have not come close to betting on the Ohio State University.
No, then he said they're rounding into form, which was, right out of your days as a sports announcer. Which was fantastic.
Welcome back, everybody. The Ohio State Buckeyes rounding into form this week as they take on the
Doug. I'm giving you a compliment. It was wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was for all those that backed those picks last week. I mean, I think we had all three of those games wrapped up in a bow at halftime. So
my point is, I'm taking Ohio State this week.
Oh boy! Wow, 2 in a row, huh?
That's my point. Hey, I didn't need you two going off on a circle jerk with each other. The Ohio State Buckeyes, the line is down to 18.5. There's sharp money coming in on Iowa. I get it. The uniforms are daunting, black and yellow.
You love Iowa. It's just hard to believe.
I know, but I saw what they did against Iowa State. I saw what they did, and their defense. Ohio State's offense it's a video game. It doesn't matter how good the defense is. Ohio State's going to score in the 30s, if not, they're going to be in the mid 30s, possibly 40s if it gets downhill. Iowa's not scoring any more than 21 points. Give me the Buckeyes at minus the 18.5. That's winner number 2. Winner number 3. Another one of Doug's. And frankly, I'm surprised Doug didn't take this game. I'm gonna go out west on a Friday night against the $100,000-less NIL quarterback. You want to be Rebels. The UNLV Rebels are ranked 25th in the country, and they're hosting the Orangemen of Syracuse. Give me the Orange plus the 6.5 on a Friday night. Who in their right mind thinks that the Rebels of Nevada, Las Vegas, how dare they? When's the last time this bunch of yahoos gave that much candy to anybody? I'd take Marion Local plus a touchdown against UNLV. Give me the Cuse. Those are my 3 winners right there. Boom.
NFL, which I went 2-0-1, only because somehow
one of those wins I can't remember. The Cardinals, I can't remember.
So it was all right. So I'll give you the Washington Commanders.
The Commanders against
the Commanders. Yeah.
Thank you.
Which by the way, against Arizona, which Doug took Arizona. And I kept sending screenshots of this, and you somehow keep reading it. I even clarified. I'm like, Casey, I took Washington. Doug took Arizona. What are you doing? He's Fritz Jr. I was like, I don't know.
I should have known. I should have known when Doug wasn't responding to any of those. I should have known it wasn't him on the. I was defending you. I thought you were saying, Doug, you were right, man. Like I thought you were. I was like, no, what are you doing? Like, stop.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought he had the Commanders, and I thought you were like, man, Doug was so right. I'm like, God, that's like the 5th time you said that.
Oh,
like,
for God. No. I know not to throw gas on that fire. No.
I texted you separately. I apologize.
Okay. I accept.
Frankly, neither one of you can handle my undivided attention. Let's be very honest about that. I give you both about 30% at any given time, and at that point, it was like 12.
Yeah.
So I whiffed on it.
Hey. Yeah, whatever.
I'm sorry.
You're in the back of a Jeep somewhere. I don't
know. It's true. It's so true.
Well, I think KC is not beating the spread in the last 5 games. I got the Saints plus 5.5 over the KC Taylor Swifts. It's in Arrowhead, but the trend will continue. They're not going to cover the spread, and at some point in time, they're not going to get a call. So big on that one. There's some candy for you. Next, look. They believe, Casey. The Commanders believe. I don't care if they just came off 2 big wins. One, where they just routed the Cardinals. They're playing a team that is absolutely collapsing on itself.
Who's that? I don't know.
That would be the Cleveland Browns. And
I didn't know. Dom, actually, if you don't mind, I haven't been paying any attention to football. How are they doing this year? I just like came out of a cave.
They're 1-3. Sure.
They are? No. That's too bad.
Look at the man. Look at him. He was smiling, had some big, bright blue eyes.
He's never been this quiet and weird. There's a 65% chance that he's actually getting some action under the table. I mean, he's just sitting there like a damn. Normally he's like actually participating. I mean, this is a.
What do you want
This
to
is
say?
a real. Hey, Dom, when this thing comes on YouTube, it might just be you and me. Okay, go ahead.
Well, will half my head be like this again? Because that was cool. The Commanders, they believe, I'm telling you, this is free money. They're -3 at home versus the Cleveland Browns. Houston is going to right the ship. They're plus 1.5 at home versus Buffalo. They've looked good at times. They've looked horrible at times. You don't know which Josh Allen is going to come out. I think Houston's going to right the ship. I like him at home plus 1.5 versus Buffalo.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
What do you think, Douglas?
I have one play in agreement with Dom, just like last week. And Dom has listened to these podcasts and he is trying to get smarter. And he is writing on the sentiment that I've been on for a month about betting against the Chiefs. There's so much value against Kansas City every week. New Orleans getting 5.5 is too many points. The Chiefs, even if they win the game, it's going to be by a field goal or less. 5.5 points is too many. Give me the Saints. That's number one. Number two, one of my favorite plays that I had that I'm now going to take off the board because, and this is important, people, when you get games, when these lines, now that we're starting to get in the middle of the NFL season, the lines get tighter and tighter. It's much more difficult. Every point is a premium. I will lay off games for half points all the time, especially when they're around the 3 mark. If you like the Browns, which you should this week, it's 3.5 at DraftKings. It's 3.5 at ESPN Bet. It's 3.5 everywhere. Since on this podcast, I would be forced to take +3, I'm going to lay off the Browns. Browns are coming off a catastrophic
Wait.
loss.
Is this one of your picks?
It's not now because of this
then
bogus line.
Nobody cares. Put your own picks out there. No one gives a flying about the Browns.
Play number 2, going back to the same motto strategy that I've talked about week in and week out. I want to bet against a team that's coming off a good win, and now I'm going to take a team that's getting way too many points coming off 10 days rest and a very, very difficult loss in a game that they had won. I'm going to take the Giants getting 6.5 points against the Seahawks. That's just simply too many points. The reason that line is so high is because Malik Neighbors is a game time decision. Play number 3.
Okay.
This pains me to say, but I've got one team that got off to an incredible start. They came back to earth a little bit last week. They're going to continue to get exposed. They're simply not that good. They're going against another team that's coming off 10 days rest. Now, this team struggles on the road typically, but their offense is coming around. I'm going to say it again. I don't think Pittsburgh is talented enough to hang.
Wow.
And for Dallas getting 2.5 points is ridiculous. Dallas is going to win this game outright. I just simply do not believe in the Steelers enough to continue this trend. I'm taking the Cowboys getting 2.5 points.
I've got 3 more winners here. I'm going to go 6. I may not lose another game the rest of the year. No big deal. I'm going to start over in. You sound like you're from London.
Whoa.
I'm going to start over in London, boys.
No.
Yeah. New York. We've got a problem with old Bobby Saleh and old Aaron Rodgers. We got problems. Something's wrong with Aaron Rodgers. Something's wrong with his knee. Something's wrong with his arm. Robert Saleh is one of the worst head coaches in the history of football, with coaches that have coached over 50 games. And the fighting Dominic Roses. Minus the 2.5. I'm taking them. I don't care. Call me Johnny Public. Let's go. Darnold, whatever your name is. Arnold, Sam, MVP. Suck it, Rodgers. Let's go, Jefferson. Show him what fish and chips is all about over there. That's play number 1. Get you excited for the Vikings. Play number 2. Before the season started, old Case had a hot take. I said, look out for the Bears. That's what I said. And they're starting to come together. Starting to come alive. And I've got the damn Bears at home. Give me the hook. Doug, You don't need to tell me most games land on 3 because I know it. I'll take the hook. Give me the Bears -3 and a hook. The fighting Carolina Panthers and the Andy Daltons. They don't know what they're in for in the Windy City. Boom. Play number 2. Play number 3. Now I want you to listen very carefully to this one because I just looked at it and just said that why not? There's no reason whatsoever. There are good games. There are bad games. There are unwatchable games. And there is this game. Give me the Patriots -1.5 at home against whatever that team is. Give me the Patriots -1.5 against. I don't know who the hell who's playing there. I don't know who their quarterback is. I don't give a shit. Let's go. Let's go, Pats. There you go.
Amazing.
-1.5. The Patriots wouldn't be favored over Menor High School. That's how bad the Dolphins are right now. So there you go, boys.
By the way, how great is it that after I hung up last week, Mandy looks at that sweet, innocent Mandy and says, I'm going to call my Uncle Keith. What's the name of the show? And I pull it up for her and I show her. She's like, okay, Casey. She's like, I'm going to call my Uncle Keith. He's going to love it.
Give her a shout out because we're going to send a clip. We're going to put it on Instagram because she followed us. Yeah. What was her name? Wendy.
Her name was cousin of Wendy. Mandy was her name.
Mandy,
Sweet Mandy.
you're a sweetheart.
Sweet Mandy.
Packers, duh.
Yeah.
You know what? We might have Mandy back. I think perhaps we'll have Mandy back on because she may need a chance to redeem herself. She was put on the spot. She took the Packers because of her Uncle Keith.
Correct.
Give her a pass. Uncle Keith. Cheesehead. Perhaps Mandy wants a chance to say, I love the Cowboys. We'll see.
I wonder if Uncle Keith stuck around for the mailbag on the last show. Because if he did, he got a golden shower's worth of.
As a matter of fact, I got a question here from Uncle Keith from Green Bay, Wisconsin. It says, I told my wife I want to be a golden shower head, not a cheese head. Thanks, boys. Okay. All right. So, actually, it's funny. She said question number 1, Chris from Hilton Head, South Carolina. Love the golden shower segment. Inspired me to ask this question. I'm 32, girlfriend's 29, dating 2 years. I want to have group sex. She doesn't. What are your thoughts? That's it. Group sex. So we have to kind of figure out what he means by group sex. You know, let's do it. Let's call it swapping. Unless he's talking about a full-blown orgy, and I haven't seen one of those for about 4 days now. So those are. You got to have a very strong intestinal fortitude and an incredible level of trust and security to be in the same room as your girlfriend or wife being penetrated. Doug and I talked about it last week. Just fantasize, just role play it. You know, just talk about names, just act like there's people in the room. Like, for example, let's say right now I was, fornicating. You know, I could say, "Oh, look at Amber over there in the corner, honey, isn't that hot?" And she could say, "Oh, look at Mike over there getting." You fan it, and then it's, you don't want to do it for real. That's my opinion. Gentlemen, do you have any thoughts?
100% agree. I mean, once you open that can of worms, there's no going back.
For the life of me, I can't even fathom why that would be an idea of someone thinks that they could watch, like you said, another man penetrate their wife. Just fantasize about someone else, because once the toothpaste is out of the tube, it's
Well,
how many times have you heard relationships where, someone cheats and they try to get back together, but the one just can't let it go.
Yeah.
That in and of itself is super hard. Well, now it's a party. Now it's a party case.
Now it's good. Ladies and gentlemen, the good news is Doug, like sperm from Dave Grohl without a condom, he ejected. He's gone. He's gone. Doug has ejected.
Okay. You just totally redeemed Dave Grohl.
Thank you. He gone, baby. He gone. Doug ejected. He gone. Doug was ejaculated from the podcast. Doug Wade was ejaculated. Oh my God. That was so great. You know that God does have a sense of humor. God's
Oh my God.
Watch this. I'm going to ejaculate Doug from the podcast. Oh my God. All right.
Like suds in a shower. Doug
All
is
right.
out.
Oh, he's back.
Oh,
All
He's
right.
back.
So the
Wow.
my phone went completely dead.
Let's go to Jeffrey here. Jeffrey from looks like Dublin. My girlfriend can only orgasm with a toy, and it's frustrating me. Any advice or experience with that? I'm 33 years old. She's 32. We have a great sex life, but she cannot orgasm until we're done, and then she finishes with a toy. Thanks, Jeff. I get that too.
Embrace it, Jeff. Use it during sex. Well, combine the two. What do you?
Well, he's feeling. Listen,
he
guys,
doesn't feel.
People are asking questions. They don't want us to go. Hey, go fuck yourself.
Oh, Jeff. Hey, I'm there. I've been there, man. I've had girls who couldn't. Yeah.
You got to get real connected. You have to be very connected. I mean, we've talked about this. A woman's clitoris it's such a wonderfully enigmatic thing. It's just like, it's for men to behold. It's number one, if we can even find the goddamn thing half the time. It's there somewhere. We know it. We're trying. The one time she said, "You're literally humping the doorknob." I was 10 feet away from her. She was in bed. I was humping the doorknob in the dark. I didn't know what I was doing. She's like, come back over here. It's okay. I was off. Okay. You gotta slow down and calm down and say, hey. Fogerty once wrote a great song called "Put Me in, Coach. I'm Ready to Play." Just let me coach me. Lay back. Lead me. Make. Be your future. Make your future. Danny, be the ball. Be the ball, Danny. But listen, sometimes, you got to dismount. You got to let her take out the 75-volt jackhammer. And you gotta and then you just hope there's squirting. You hope there's go get soap, suds it up, have fun with it, dive into it, put on some clown makeup, put a Speedo on. I mean, punch yourself in the nads, whatever it takes. I say just be all in. Doug, what do you say about that?
Yeah, I mean, he's got no choice here. He's got no choice, and so he's going to have to learn to deal with it. Talk to her about it. I like the idea of trying to use it, like Dom said. During the action, we've talked about this before. I mean, what are you going to do? She wants to be satisfied, and you've got to work with her. If she's obviously not upset with you about it, so don't beat yourself up about it either. And just go from there. So
I can't orgasm without getting pegged.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
We all listen, whatever it takes. I think what it boils down to, whatever it takes.
And I will say the clown makeup does work. I've tried that. It's a solid go-to. It works. Solid.
Last but certainly not least, had anal sex for the first time. Okay, with my girlfriend. 25 years old, name's Christian. Go figure.
Christian.
It just writes itself.
It does. We could just end on that. That's it, bro. We can't go any further. Next thing you know, tell us he's from Jerusalem and shit. Okay. Nazareth. All right. Lord, okay. You're the one that gave me the sense of humor. We're good. Okay, so 25 years old, she's 24, had anal sex for the first time she really wanted to. When it ended, you know where this is going, right? When it ended, I had poop all over my.
What do you expect? See, the smells are hard to overcome.
Oh God, it's awful. It's because listen, farts are one thing, feces is another thing, but fresh out of the factory, it's a whole nother. It's something else. putting your penis in an anus, if you have experience with it, odds are there's been a little residue at some point.
This is on him right now.
Crying.
This is on him. If it's something he doesn't want to get over or can't get over, then it is what it is. He's got to move on and remember that for the next time. It should have been an instantaneous run to the bathroom, get cleaned. It's probably not going to work out with this one, okay? But learn from it, and the next time, be a little bit more prepared. Be a little bit more prepared for when things are concluded there between the sheets, and maybe you've got a chance to last longer with the next one. But this one is going to be nothing but a funny memory in a few years.
Smelly but funny. Go ahead, Dom.
Yeah. So my take is just, do I have an experience with that? In my 20s, in a very drunken state, I do. But I will just say, look, you're playing with fire. If it was someone that I ever cared about, and I thought that, we're in a long relationship, I'm not going there. Just for that simple fact of I don't want that possibility happening. So what I'm saying is, if it's a friend that you have just a sexual relationship with and you guys are experimenting, knock yourselves out. If this is your serious girlfriend of like a couple of years and you want to try it, you just got to know that this is a possibility on the other end, and you may not like it.
If you're going to do some crazy, some stuff like that, have the Dawn ready, have the soap ready, have the Irish Spring ready, have the running water ready, have the Febreze ready, have the Lysol ready, have the Pine Sol ready, have the rubber gloves ready. Everything you need if someone took a shit in your carpet, your living room floor. Okay, you want to be prepared for that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging in with us tonight. It has been a pleasure. For Dominic Rose and Douglas Wade, my name is Casey Wandell. And until next week, may your days be pegorific and your showers be golden. Take care, everybody.